Alright, everybody. Hi, good morning. Happy weekend to you. Why the heck do we do what we do? Why? That is a question that we really slam up against in life. What is our motivation? I think it's probably the main reason why people start, trying to find themselves, find their real selves, or ask themselves what the hell is going on, is because they did something that is so clearly motivated by something that they don't know about, that they don't understand, they can't put into words. We can't describe, we're not clear on it. Why did I do that? And it is such an epic question because it goes to the root of it. What is motivating you? What is making you do what you do? Why do you act the way that you do? Can you put this stuff into words? If you can, accurately, if you're not deluding yourself, if you can accurately put some of the stuff into words, that means that you're way along the road. It means that you know yourself on one level at least. What the motivations are, then can you change what you do? Can you shift it a little bit? Can you say no to certain motivations? That's even more along. You got power over it. And then do you eventually there's some stage where you're not really all that motivated by this and that. You're motivated more by an internal, deep sense of something. What? Who knows? We don't need to go into right now. But what are the various motivations that we could think about? I think even just thinking about this, just considering this for a sec about ourselves can be really, enlightening. Really can reveal some things. And you can look at it in a million different ways. But let's just say you can look at it in terms of, is the motivation a thought? Or is it an emotion? Okay? You could say, is the motivation coming from the past? Or is it kind of coming from a vision for the future? Another way to think about it. You can also think about it as, is the motivation coming from inside you? Or is it coming from outside of you? So if you just look at these various things, you can I'm sure there's more, but you can check things out just in these ways. You can be motivated by a very strong emotion, okay? Take anger, very motivating emotion. Oh my goodness. So you might freak out on your partner with a rage, an uncontrolled outburst. You could be fighting back or responding to something that they said to you or whatever. Anger, just pure emotion. Rage, they did something to you that made you so mad and you did something back. You hit them. You shouted. You ran off. You threw the table over with the nice food on it. Who knows? Afterwards, you might be like, why the heck did I do that? Well, do you know what you're angry about? You got super angry for some good reason. Some reason, at least. Can you look at it? Whatever. That's one. A thought versus an emotion could be a very different. So, and the action probably looks pretty different. You know what I mean? You could have some kind of thought that you have been betrayed, say. It could also make you angry, but you could be more in a thinking level, responding to it. Say your partner betrayed you. This is what you think. This is your story, okay? Or your parent betrayed you, your trust. And suddenly you're like, I'm not talking with that person anymore. Shut down. But it comes kind of from a thought. You're like, okay, so if you did that to me for the last time, now I'm going to not talk to you anymore, or at least for 2 weeks. Like, you got this whole plan. That's way more like kind of thought out. Like, what should I do? Okay, I'm thinking what might be a good action or what I want. It could like be related to an emotion, but you're way more like this, so it's maybe a slower response. But that's what motivates your email to the parent or your shutdown with your partner, is this almost like conscious thought that you're deciding to do. It feels like a decision. In any case, it's just another flavor. If you look on the time continuum, is it the past or is it the future that's motivating you? You could take the parent again. You got a lot of past with this person. You're weighed down by it. You have regrets. You have all this stuff having to do with your parent. And it is forcing you into, like, inaction, let's say. And you're just not doing anything. You're not responsive to their wanting to spend time with you, for instance. Because of all this past, right? You got this big old viewpoint from the past of everything that they did to you and everything. It's like your experience. You can draw conclusions. But you're basically motivated by the past. And a lot of the time you're gonna be afraid of one thing or another, or angry about one thing or another, resentful about one thing or another, right? You see how it's linked to all the emotions and everything, thoughts. But it's mainly you're like the past. You could be motivated by the future. That sounds more hopeful. It can be more hopeful. It has different possibilities in it. Take the same person, parent. You could hope that your relationship's going to improve, and that could motivate you to try to take steps to do that. If you're stuck in the past and give that a lot of power, you might not do that. But you could also, take the future and be like, you think that nothing can ever change. That's kind of the future too. You think the future's going to suck. Maybe you think that it's going to get even worse. These are like thoughts about this way or this way. But which one do you like to hang out in? Is like another question. Where do I like to be? I would say it's been the past a lot of the time. Very heavy. Yeah. And that can lead, this parent example is great, because it can lead me to the last two, internal or external motivation. I have tons of experience with external motivation, because I, for a long time, was motivated just by basically trying to please my parent. I did what she wanted, what I thought she would approve of, my mom. External motivation. Oh my goodness. Internal motivation is for me, obviously. Knowing something is good for me, or knowing something is bad for me, and acting on that. And there's a balance between, like, on each of these levels, there's like a balance between these two, of course. You have emotions and thoughts about them. You know about the past, and you have visions of the future. You have internal experience, and there are other people that you care about. So what is the balance? In any action, are you like balancing these various things, or are you freaking taken over by one? It's just a way to think about why you're doing the things that you're doing, motivations. So this like external thing can easily turn into, people pleasing that is pretty extreme. And lack of knowing goes hand in hand with lack of even knowing what the hell you want, what you're feeling, your state inside has been for too long, maybe your whole life, taken over by the state of others and trying to control it a little bit or a lot, trying to make sure that you're safe by, making sure the other person doesn't feel certain emotions like anger, or needing approval so bad, like in my case, being so afraid of rejection and needing approval so bad that the external was just like way up here. My attention to the external, my attention to other people's reactions to me just took precedence over my own experience and just being myself. Like being myself, what the hell does that even mean? Like to that level. Where are your like actions coming from? It's very broad and goes to the root of a lot of things. And in order to do this, you do have to go inside and be honest and see what the heck is going on in there. See the balance of like your mind and your emotions and time and everything, your own place in the world. So yeah, I think a hopefully helpful to you, way of kind of like considering things. Hope it helps in some way. Thanks so much for being here. Bye.